Now let's talk football.
Mm.
Now, I'm sure you must have heard that Idris Diallo has been elected as the head of Ivorian Football Federation in an election that took place in the capital city of Yamoussoukro, where former Chelsea and Ivorian star Didier Drogba was eliminated in the first round. Now, we saw what happened in Cameroon with
Mhm.
Samuel Eto'o becoming the president of
Mhm.
Fecafoot. Now,
Mhm.
why go for a businessman? Why not go for somebody who has done the game before, who has played the game before, who has got so much experience?
Uh, like Ladi, you see, I would say, for you to lead a football federation, you don't have to be a footballer.
No doubt.
It's all about administration, right, and organization. If you have that, not every footballer is a captain of a team, right? Not every footballer can lead, right? But when you talk of like because it happens in Cameroon, Samuel Eto'o might have displayed locally that is capable. Maybe he supports, you know, grassroots football. He brings his connections in when he was there as a footballer. And at the end of the day, if he comes up and want to campaign for the chairmanship or that, they could consider him. Probably because he's shown that he has that organization and he could support with every connection he has abroad, right? That's what they need. But this guy is a businessman. We don't know how involved he is in Ivorian football, because you can't just say you're a businessman, you come and you must have done something around that, you know, which I don't know because I've not really dig into Diallo himself. But I know he's a
Yeah, well,
businessman. Ivorian
to just support
football. So,
to support what you're saying, you see, the new president of the Ivorian football was a former leader of the largest club side in Abidjan, talking about Asec Mimosa. That was from 1984 to 1998. But if you look at the performance of Asec Mimosa, gone were the days of Rashidi Yekini
mhm.
and the late Thompson Olia, who also played in Cote d'Ivoire as well, Stephen Kesha and the rest of them, where Asec Mimosa and African sports were top teams, on the continent. Now, if you look at the performance of Ivorian teams on when you talk about continental football, they are not really performing the way they used to perform. Now, if you look at the Nations Cup World Cup qualifier, they are no more there like they used to be during the days of Joe Teyi, and the rest of all these guys. So they are no more there like they were used to be. So for me, I think probably they need a change from the old style of doing things and probably doing things differently than the way they used to do it in the past.
Different. Mhm.
Yeah, that's my own
Yeah,
opinion. But
we never know. We don't know how much because now, like Drogba, he's been criticized, right? Like that he's not really committed to local football, support them locally. Maybe when he was playing abroad, we've seen players go back home, try and support them, whatever they have, they give to them, maybe build an academy or do something or get something to go there. But because you could come up one day and want to be president of the country, you never know. But
that's right.
you as a person have that skill to be able to organize and administrate and lead. Those are the key things you need. But if a businessman is going to write you, he must have had that.
But it's so sad that Drogba actually lost out in the first round. For me, that's not good enough at all. That's not good enough. And don't forget that Cote d'Ivoire will be hosting the next Nations Cup in 2023 from June 23rd to July 23rd of 2023. I'm still talking about national team football. Algeria head coach Jamel Belmadi has said that he will not leave his post with the national team and instead will remain in charge of their qualifying campaign for the 2023 African Cup of Nations, which will be held in Cote d'Ivoire. Belmadi had come under mounting criticism following the disastrous defense of their 2019 AFCON title. At the 2021 edition of the tournament in Cameroon earlier this year, Algeria finished bottom of Group E, having taken just 1 point from 3 matches. The Desert Warriors also failed to qualify for the 2022 World Cup in Qatar after they lost to Cameroon on away goals in their playoff tie. Algeria will play in Group C of the 2023 African Cup of Nations qualifier with Uganda, Tanzania, and Niger Republic. Now, normally from in time past, we will say, oh, that should be a stroll in the park for the Algerians. But I don't think it's not like that anymore on the continent of Africa when you talk about
No,
World Cup qualifier.
no, the continent has really changed now. Everybody is playing football, so everybody can play now. You can't just write there. There's no underdog. Look at what happened at the last Nations Cup. The host got knocked out by Comoros and knocked out Ghana as well, with all their stars that plays abroad. Yeah, so you can't underrate anybody again in that continent. So it's changed now on the continent. So
because we saw Gambia, we saw Equatorial Guinea,
yeah,
the Comoros Island as well. They got a lot of fantastic results at the Nations Cup. Nobody saw that coming.
yeah. No one saw that coming. So expect more in 2023.
No
When the
doubt,
years
expect more
come
in
now.
2023. Let's quickly give you this coming from the CAF Champions League, where Captain Thiago Azulao equalized as Petro Atletico of Angola drew 1-1 with South African champions Mamelodi Sundowns in Johannesburg to reach the CAF Champions League semi-finals. Petro qualified 3-2 on aggregate after a 2-1 home win last weekend and now face Wydad Casablanca, who previously had a barren draw with Shabab Belouizdad of Algeria but progressed on aggregate. Title holders, I say it again, Al Ahly of Egypt will meet Entente Setif of Algeria in the other semi-final, with the first leg scheduled for May 6th to 7th and return leg matches for May 13th to 14th. The final of the CAF Champions League, which attracts a whopping $2.5 million first prize, is set for 29th of May at the venue yet to be announced. Now, that is one thing I'm not really down with when it comes to CAF Champions League. Before the commencement of any UEFA Champions League season, we know where the final will take place. This season, for instance, we know we are going to Paris. So how come CAF don't even know where the final match will take place?
That's a shame. By now they should have known where we're going to play the final, even before the kick a ball.
That's
Well,
right.
it's a shame we can organize simple things like that. But I don't know why. Maybe they're looking for what team is going to qualify and which part of the continent are we going to play the final so we can get people in easily. I don't know.
Well, it's not too good at all. It shows lack of organization. Now, let's really tell you where organization is key and where football is also, they're taking football to the next level. The UK government says it will establish an independent regulator in football after endorsing recommendations made in a fan-led review into the men's game. The regulator will have power to sanction clubs in English football who break financial and other rules. It comes after the review made 10 recommendations to the government on how to improve football governance last year. The review was chaired by former sports minister Tracy Crouch, following a number of high-profile crises in the sport, such as the failed European Super League and the collapse of Bury FC and Derby as well. No direct timeline for implementing the changes has been announced, but the government said the white paper that's a policy document which set out proposals for future laws in detail will be published in summer. The new regulators will be backed by laws which allow it to hand out punishment and have financial oversight of clubs, meaning it can investigate and gather information. This follows Roman Abramovich's ongoing sale of Chelsea amid government sanctions and the Saudi Arabian backed takeover of Newcastle United in October 2021, among others. But ownerships were criticized by Amnesty International. That's talking about the two ownership of Chelsea and Newcastle, criticized by Amnesty International. The white paper will also aim to improve equality and diversity in club boardrooms. What's your take on that, Zimo?
Ladi, I have a mixed feeling about that. Number one, I support part of the government regulations. Right, they have to come in and make sure that these owners are credible. Like what happened to Postmore. There was a time the former prime minister of the Thailand bought Postmore, and he splashed money, and within 2 years he went to jail over there. So that club went into turmoil. there was not enough guarantee, to say, okay, if anything happens, let's carry on. But at the same time, I think the government wants to get involved in football. There shouldn't be a mix. You know what I mean? There shouldn't be. I would have loved the government to have said to football governing body and said, yeah, you can set up an independent regulator right now. Not the government setting up that independent regulator, because it's like the government is hijacking this away from the football authority. That's the way I say it. Like, you coming in to dictate to them with a white paper on what they're going to do. Where are we going next? You're going to take the FA from them and start regulating it. Yeah, that's where we're going to go. If the FA cannot do that on the Premier League, you could have said the FA should go set up, not the FA. FA should set up independent regulator. Government could have one or two among them. Let them draw out a white paper and give to the FA to now implement. Government could monitor it, not government issuing the white paper. It's like, I don't know. Well, I have mixed reaction to that. Like,
I
that's my
think
point.
I
That's my
totally
take.
agree with you. I totally agree with you, Zemo. Let's quickly tell you this that don't forget we started with this story when we came on the show this afternoon that Manchester City remain on course to reach its second successive Champions League final after beating Real Madrid 4-3 in a trailing semi-final clash at the Etihad Stadium. And tonight, Liverpool going up against Villarreal. Villarreal giant killers. They knocked out Bayern Munich. They knocked out Juventus. Even though Juventus were not really fantastic this season, ever since they brought in Cristiano Ronaldo, who they thought would be the talisman that would take them to, to the promised land. He couldn't take them even close to the promised land, so he had to walk. So now, so for me, Juventus not really fantastic this season, but then you can't take anything away from Villarreal for them to be in this semi-final, which means they are good enough to be there. And don't forget, you have that coach Unai Emery, former coach of Arsenal, former coach of PSG. He did wonders with
Mhm.
Sevilla, and now let's hope he probably can make it happen also with Villarreal.
Villarreal, I think they're a very good side, to be honest. Like, don't rule these people out. But this game is coming up at Anfield. That's my fear. That is coming up at Anfield. You know, they could shut Liverpool up. They've got the team to do that. They've proven it. They did it against Bayern Munich. You know, but at Anfield, I have that mind that they're going to survive it. Liverpool are going to win this leg. Yeah, Liverpool are going to win this leg. But over there, if they could do something there, but not here. I'm not too sure, Ladi. This is
I
Anfield,
totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. And let's quickly tell you that tonight, or not, actually not tonight, tomorrow we have Europa League semi-final fixtures lined up. And in two games that we play tomorrow, RB Leipzig will take on Rangers with a depleted attacking line, and West Ham West Ham. They're on a Freddie Ten run right now. West Ham, nobody believed they will get to this level, but here we are. They're in the semifinals. They'll be going up against giant killers and Frankfurt, the team that knocked out Bayern Munich. I don't know how 30,000
do,
Frankfurt fans got into the stadium,
do
but
English.
hey, I won't tell you why. Barcelona, they got money for it. They made what's it called? I think $3 million for the ticket sales, but their team lost out. So West Ham going up against Etienne Frankfurt, and in Europa Conference League semi-final fixtures final will take on Olympic Marseille, while Leicester City will welcome Roma to the city of Leicester. That one is coming up in the Europa Conference League. If you look at the time now, we don't really have time on our side. Now, Zimo, quickly, what's your take on this four games that is lined up for tomorrow? Leipzig
Uh,
against Rangers, West Ham against Frankfurt.
I'll say Leipzig will win tomorrow. They're playing at home against Rangers. It could be a different story when they come here. But Leipzig is a way best strong at home. And when it comes to West Ham and Frankfurt, I would say West Ham will edge them at home. At home here. So Leicester against Roma, that's a dicey one.
That's a tight
That's a
one.
dicey
Okay, now